Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be doing a bike check on my 2018 Merida 160-800. So I've only owned this bike for about 3 months. I swapped it for a Trek Fuel EX8 and I did that because I was wanting to switch back to a 27.5 inch wheel, and also because I wanted a longer travel fork as I plan to do a few enduro races this season. So far I've really enjoyed riding the Merida and it hasn't given me much of a headache, which is always nice. So without any further ado, let's get on to some specs. First off, the bike has an aluminium frame that's been stripped down to get this awesome raw finish. It's been coated with 2-pack clear coat just to give it that little bit more protection. I'm running a 170mm RockShox Lyric RC2 fork at 30% sag. The Debonair spring feels buttery smooth. I prefer the Lyric with the spacers removed, along with significantly more pressure than RockShox recommends. Me being 84 kilos, I ended up at 100 psi on the spring. And it is paired up with the RockShox Super Deluxe, with the Magnet can also running at 30% sag. I'm still working on getting the suspension set up dialed, but right now it feels pretty plush on the trails that I'm riding. Moving on to the wheels, they are stock at the moment, but I'm definitely looking to invest in some nicer wheels and hubs in the near future. If anyone has any recommendations, be sure to leave me a comment down below. As for the tyres, I've got Maxxis Minion DHR2s front and rear, both at 2.6 and Huck Norris set up in the rear. Both tyres are tubeless, with the front tyre at around 22 psi and the rear at around 25 psi. I found these plus tyres to be super grippy and I can't really fault them at all, although there is quite a lot of fuss about the Maxxis Assegais right now and I'm pretty keen to try them out as a front tyre as well. The Merida has standard 35mm stem and FSA headset. It's got D80 bars with the Brendog grips, and these grips are ridiculously good. It's summer here in Australia at the moment, and for me, riding with gloves in this heat feels really uncomfortable. But the death grips just work even when you get sweaty palms. They're just that good. And they're really cheap too. I think they're only about $25 online. Moving on to the brakes, the Merida comes with SRAM Code R's front and rear. It also has a 203mm front rotor and a 180mm rotor in the rear. These are just awesome brakes that just do their job well. You can pretty much stop on a dime. Next up is the drivetrain, and this bike is equipped with SRAM GX Eagle, 10 to 52 tooth cassette in the back and 32 tooth chainring up front. This setup is a beast for climbing. As long as you've got traction, you can pedal up some pretty insanely steep terrain. The cranks are GX 170mm and the pedals are Bontrager Line Elites from my old bike. They're nice looking pedals with pretty awesome grip too. The dropper post is a 120mm KS Lev Integra with just a standard saddle. It's pretty good and still feels quite smooth, but I think I will need to service it pretty soon. And the other thing I thought I'd mention is I need to fix up the cables as they're pretty banged up from some crashes. And the last thing I thought I'd mention in this video is that I am looking at getting some Kydex to put on as a down tube protector. As you can see, there's nothing protecting the down tube of the frame at the moment. And Kydex is a durable plastic that becomes malleable when you heat it, which means you can then form it around the frame. It's pretty cheap and can be purchased on eBay, and I'll be making a video on how I do that, so be sure to keep an eye out on the channel. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that quick bike check video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.